Welcome into the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show for Week 10 of the NFL season. Glenn Clark, Kyle Ottenheimer, and the star of the program, the lovely and talented Ken Zalis. KZ, what's up, sir?
How's everybody doing?
Everything is good. I had a rough few weeks there with Alvin Kamara hurt and on bye. In the one league where it really kind of matters to me still at this point, I went from 6-1 to 6-3 over the last 2 weeks. Not great, but I still feel pretty good getting Kamara back. I still like my chances the rest of the way, as long as there's not something surprising that I'm going to find out when it comes to Alvin Kamara at this point.
Yeah, I worry a little bit about his usage now that he's been hurt, and the fact that Murray looks so good.
Shut your mouth. Shut your damn mouth.
In his absence.
Shut your mouth.
That maybe he's lost some touches along the way.
I don't know if you know this. He's Alvin Kamara.
But here's the thing. I know he's Alvin Kamara. You know he's Alvin Kamara.
They know he's Alvin Kamara.
See, I don't know that they know that he's Alvin Kamara because they haven't fed him like he's Alvin Kamara too much
Can we
this
also
year.
acknowledge that Alvin Kamara was probably at his best when he was in a running back tandem?
That also, there's something to be said for that. And in fairness, they also were playing Teddy Bridgewater for a bit of that.
They were. I mean, look, you look at he's never had more than 17 carries in a week, which is fine.
But like his usage is
his targets. I don't know. His targets. He's had a couple of weeks where his targets have been less than 5. I'm worried. Look, the matchup isn't. Can't get much better than Atlanta at home.
Correct.
I mean, it just can't. I have a little bit of a pause.
He's going to score 40 points this week, so shut up.
For what it's worth, I'm in the league the press box league where I'm, I think, 1-7 and pathetic. I will be playing both Kamara and Murray.
So, I mean, I have him high this week because I like you, are like, he's Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
You're playing the Atlanta Falcons, who are awful on defense. Their best 3 players are on the shelf. But there is some hesitation in the back of my mind that, maybe the touchdowns don't come anymore.
I'm not going to stand for your negativity.
I'm not
here.
being negative.
I'm not going to allow your negative vibes to influence
I love
my
that
life.
he's back. I mean, especially in a week where there's so many people hurt and 6 teams are on bye, and it's like people are asking me, who do you play? I was like, if they're active, play them.
Yeah, I got it. It's a nightmare every week. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's talk about some of the big headlines this week. Josh Gordon in Seattle. Expectations, maybe not this week. Expectations, is he? I mean, I'm assuming he should be on your should be rostered.
So I said this the other day to somebody. Asked me should he be rostered? I was like, yeah, he should probably be rostered. What my expectations are very low, though. You're going into a situation where Tyler Lockett has established himself as one of the premier receivers in football right now. He's almost bust proof the way they've been using him.
Yep.
Don't look now, but that guy that everybody made fun of, including me a little bit, DK Metcalf, is really coming on.
Absolutely.
It seems like it doesn't matter what the name of the tight end, but list your blocking tight end du jour in Seattle, and they're going to catch touchdown passes. And by the way, they run the ball as much as any.
They hate throwing the ball.
Right. I mean, they run. They're one of the top 5 teams in the NFL who runs the ball. So you add all that together with not really knowing if Josh Gordon is healthy and how they're going to use him. I'm not starting him this week unless again I'm absolutely desperate with injuries and buys.
What if, for example, you're really pissed off at Golden Tate?
What if you were really scared of Tyler Boyd?
Scared of Tyler Boyd?
But also the Ravens. I would imagine Humphrey is probably going to be on him in the slot.
I would imagine that. I mean, no, because at least they have to throw the ball to him.
You also have to keep in mind it's in Kyle Ottenheimer's DNA that he plays Josh Gordon.
Here's the thing. Let's say Josh Gordon plays. First of all, I don't know how many snaps. He's got to be in a 3 wide receiver set in order to play.
The only hope for him, I think, is that they put a show and then try to force him the ball.
And they're also playing against the 49ers.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd with Humphreys on him is going to get 10 targets if AJ Green is out again.
Yeah, well, it was 3 catches for 15 yards the first time.
Yeah, I understand that, but I can't tell you that Josh Gordon's even going to get 3 targets.
I hear you. I completely hear you. And
I
look. You're monitoring it. He's on your roster.
He's on your roster. See what happens. Look, he's on my roster in a couple of places, but he's buried.
Right.
If somebody gets hurt there, yeah. I mean, he's the next guy up, and he's viable. But it's not.
So you don't think he even supplants Metcalf?
No, Metcalf's played so well.
I agree, but I still wonder. I don't know, he's not a traditional slot receiver.
He's not.
I would think that Lockett would move inside probably in the 3 receiver set.
How do you move him inside? He's been tremendous.
He started inside in his career.
I understand he started there, but look how good he's been.
He's a monster everywhere he lines up.
I understand.
That's fine.
I don't know what
they've been doing that's worked is having him working outside.
If there's 27 targets, I can't see if Lockett's getting 8.
Well, luckily, their defense is bad enough where
it could be
they kind of throw in more than they probably want to.
It could be, but they still want to run the ball. They want to. So I'm
not playing him this week.
It's not. It's
we're spending too much time on
I know
this.
he's rosterable. He's not playable this week.
Let's move forward. Kareem Hunt is back. I know you love Nick Chubb. I understand all of that, and
he's playing so well.
I get the whole deal.
Well, I mean, the coach is dumb enough to just give him too many touches. He is at absolute best this week a flex play. I don't expect much from him.
Oh, I don't know that I would play him this week.
I don't expect much from him. It's a tough matchup against Buffalo. Chubb is still – you've got to get Chubb – again – if he somehow, and I mean, I play in 16 leagues, and he's not on a waiver wire anywhere. If he's somehow on a waiver wire, he should be rosterable. I think this would be the 1 week where you could talk yourself into that he could do something with all these teams on bye and all these running backs kind of nicked up, that you could play him as a flex. But I still think that Chubb, I think he's a second fiddle to Chubb.
The other ones that are in the news, obviously, Nick Foles is going to be the starter after the bye in Jacksonville.
Can't hurt.
Okay. I mean, like, do you think that he's a guy that is you're really playing?
I mean, you got to look at the matchup. He's a matchup guy to me. I mean, I think he's going to help the downfield. I think Chark has been a little bit wishy-washy the last couple of weeks with Minshew and his unwillingness to throw the ball down the field a little bit. So I think he helps Chark a lot. But I don't – I mean, he's going to be a quarterback, too, each and every week. I can't see him being in the top 12 in any week at this point.
Pressbox Fantasy Football Show is also brought to you by Wise Markets. Need groceries today but don't have time to shop? Order online with same-day pickup or delivery at Wise Markets. Wise to go online. Now that's convenient. Also, Darius Geis, activated by the Washington Redskins, could be in the mix for them after the bye. What do you make of him?
They got to know. They got to find out. The Adrian Peterson thing is all fine and dandy, and he's like Frank Gore. Like, he's going to play forever.
More impressive. He still looks electric at times.
He does. He really does. I mean, I've tried to move him away, just like I've tried forever to move Gore out. I think Buffalo has finally kind of turned the corner there. But you got to find out if Geis can play. So he's a 15-touch guy every week. I mean, if you're in a league where he's on your IR, try to keep him there. Just remember you can't make any moves while he's still on your IR. They won't because they activated him, even though he's on bye. So which just sucks this week, as I found out this morning. But he's going to be in the RB2, RB3 discussion each and every week that he plays. I mean, he's not going to get 20, 25 touches, but 15 to 17 with maybe 10 going to Adrian Peterson. I think he gets helped the longer Chris Thompson remains on the shelf, because then there's some passing opportunities, some receiving opportunities there. But I mean, he should be owned he should be owned everywhere. He's got C.J. Anderson-ish potential as far as a guy that off the street didn't get anything from him, and then weeks 12, 13, 14, he's like oh my God, he's a really good running back. Because we think he's a good running back, he's just always hurt. And Redskins have to find out if he can be healthy for more than 1 week at a time.
I mean, I hear you. They gotta look at him and figure out if he can be part of that.
They're in evaluation mode, so
obviously that's something they got to do. All right, let's do this. Let's grab the break here, and then we'll come back in and start answering some questions. If you haven't gotten your questions in yet, get them in at Glenn Clark Radio. You can also ask them right there on the Facebook page, and we will get them to Ken Zalis as we'll deal with some of these other topics, who should play, who shouldn't play, the whole deal. All of that coming up here on the Press Box Fantasy Football Show. Real quick, what's the latest in Pittsburgh in the backfield?
Looks like Samuels again with Edmonds. I don't think Connor still hasn't practiced. Doesn't look like he'll play.
Okay, and then what do you make of the, like, if AJ Green plays, you're playing him?
No, I'm not.
No. Even if he plays, you're not playing AJ Green.
I don't know if Ryan Finley can complete a pass from me to you right now.
Wow, he's still AJ Green though.
He is, but he's also going against whoever he draws on the Ravens side of things. It's going to be a tough matchup.
All right.
They have no offensive line. I don't like much about the Bengals this week.
All right, very good. We'll talk more about it when we come back in. It's the Press Box Fantasy Football Show. Ken Zalis right with us here in the Live Casino Hotel studio.
Dating was hard, but ring shopping was harder. Settings, cuts, color, we were overwhelmed. Then her friend sent us to Smythe. Total game changer. They took the time to show us the ropes. We left with this perfect ring. She still can't take her eyes off it. I'm actually excited to go back for the wedding bands. But don't tell her I said that.
Why is Smythe Jewelers where Marilyn gets engaged? Our collection is hand-selected and comes with a friendly face to help you find the perfect ring for your perfect partner.
Catch all of the action at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill, where we have tons of TVs to catch every moment of every game. Enjoy $6.99 burgers on Mondays, $5.99 nachos on Thursdays, and drink specials throughout the season to help you cheer on your favorite teams. Come in today and try something new from our seasonal menu. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
Need groceries today but don't have time to shop? Order online with same-day pickup or delivery at Wise Markets. Wise to go online. Now that's convenient.
All right, back in here on the Press Box Fantasy Football Show. Ken Zalis, our Press Box Fantasy Football expert. Last call for your questions. Let's get them going. John in Little Rock. PPR needs one wide receiver and one flex. Robert Woods, Golden Tate, Calvin Ridley, Austin Eckler.
So I'm going to play Eckler tonight as my flex.
Okay.
No, you don't want to play him at flex.
Well, but
because it's Thursday night.
Yes, if obviously what Ken's saying is
he said
he needs him as a flex. So move him to running back and put one of your other running backs in the flex
PSA,
spot.
you know.
Yeah.
Because if anyone gets hurt, you won't have
right, exactly.
As the question was posed, Ken's answer was correct.
I know. The other one, give me them real quick.
Robert Woods, Golden Tate, Calvin Ridley.
I'm going to go Robert Woods. With I know he's been disappointing, but with Cooks out, decent matchup. Kupp's still going to get most of the top double teaming if you can stop him at all. But I'll take Woods this week. They're all wide receiver 2-ishes for me this week, but he's the top gun.
Golden Tate, Odell Beckham. As we got to this point with Odell Beckham, Golden Tate, Odell Beckham, Tyrell Williams play 2 of the 3. So just bench one. Oh, he says, sorry, Larry Fitzgerald's on that list as well. So we play 2 of the 4.
Good for Larry Fitzgerald.
All right.
I'm going to play Odell. I think they force feed him a little bit this week. It's not a great matchup, but I think the targets are there. And I really like Tate again, but I'm going to stop myself, and I'm going to go Williams.
He says he could play one of them or Devin Singletary as a flex.
Oh, you got to play Devin Singletary as a flex.
Okay, very good. From Paul and Ovilando, starting to have an eye towards the playoffs now. I have the Saints defense special teams. I'm looking at weeks 14 through 16, and I see that the Green Bay defense plays Washington and Chicago, and Philadelphia plays the Giants and Washington.
Yes.
Is it worth picking up and stashing one of those defenses, or just roll with the Saints?
So if you have room and you play in a deep roster and you look at where you are and who's on bye, I'm targeting Philadelphia wherever I can get them right now because of who they play. Giants
secondary not
No, I don't care. I don't care. Against the Giants and Jets, I'm not worried about it because they can't protect the quarterback, and Daniel Jones is a turnover machine right now. Darnold is still seeing ghosts. Yes, that's a strategy to use if you're comfortable that you're making the playoffs and you can afford it. The one I'm doing right now is Philadelphia over those.
Would I, like, for example, in order to get him in one league, I would have to drop, say, Miles Sanders. Like, this is the problem. I know.
I guess so. Here's what I'm going to tell.
Okay, I'll give you here's my bench. Right, my bench is T.Y. Hilton because he's hurt.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with that. There's been some rumors that he's headed to the IR. Right, like I have no idea what to make of that.
I wish they would make a decision.
I can't do it yet. Obviously, Sanders, Brady, Kareem Hunt.
Who's your other quarterback?
Jared Goff.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, right. You don't really want to do
matchup.
Kenny Stills, I guess I could drop.
You could drop Stills to me. That would be Stills is going to have a game somewhere. Good luck guessing where it is.
Right. Like I'm probably just not going to end up playing.
Like the last 2 weeks, he's just been a total dud, even without Fuller. So if I was going to do it, I would tell you to do that. I don't like dropping running backs at this juncture.
I hear you.
He's one play away from being
the guy. Right. I get that's the problem. Yeah. That's the problem.
So I would probably do Stills there.
She's a perfect fit, your fantasy draft pick of all time, but can you close the deal? The answer is yes when you propose with an engagement ring hand-selected by the coaches at Smythe. Smythe Jewelers, let the end zone dance commence. From Dave. Dave wants to know, Matt Breida, Ty Johnson, or no, it can't be Frank Gore. There's no chance it's Frank Gore. He's got to play one of those guys.
It's going to be Breida for me. He's actually been kind of really good, especially in a PPR. So he's getting some targets. So I'll go Breida. And last week he was the lead guy. Coleman did what Coleman does, which is have a miraculous game and then have a 12 carry for 24-yard game with absolutely helping nobody when everybody was starting him. I like Breida out of this group.
You can go ahead, Kyle. That's all right.
With the Eagles' defense, when it's concerned here, I'm currently holding the Niners and the Rams. I'm that jerk, as we discussed last week.
That's fine.
I think I'm going to play the Rams this week, and I like it better than the matchup against the Seahawks. Now, my receivers, look, it's Josh Gordon that would be on the cutting board, essentially, for the Eagles' defense. The biggest contention is me. It's essentially a no-brainer if you're in a good position, right? And you have good receiver depth.
Which
my receivers are DeAndre Hopkins, Kenny Galladay, Cortland Sutton.
Okay, just
Michael Gallup.
Just stop.
Terry McLaurin.
He's never going to play for you.
My team's name is for Josh Gordon.
He's never going to play for you. He's never going to.
Fine,
which guy?
Done.
You tell me which guy.
Done.
Which guy is he going to be playing for?
I'm aware. He's my only other guy not on bye this week, for what it's worth. So he's the only other choice.
I get that.
That being said, you would play the Rams over the Niners this week, right?
I have them almost identical, but the matchup would lead me in that direction, yes.
On the other side of things, on my other team, Emmanuel Sanders or Damian Williams?
Ooh. PPR?
Half point. I'm leaning Sanders because I don't trust that backfield. Right
I don't trust it either. The only thing, I wish we were having this discussion.
Or Tyrell Williams. It's Sanders over Williams.
It's Sanders over Williams. I wish we had something a little bit more definitive on Patty Mahomes.
He's going to play.
I know he's going to play. I want somebody to actually say it. Because if he plays, it helps Williams out a bunch. And it looked last week, I know he had the one big run, but it also looked like he was healthy and back in his rightful spot above McCoy. So I would probably go safe and go Sanders. Good enough matchup for me.
They're certainly getting him the ball.
Yeah, they're getting him the ball. They don't have much else, so I would go Sanders. I like Williams, especially with Mahomes back. But
yeah, I'm going to monitor and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I got.
All right, this is from Dan, and it's somewhat complicated. Dan says he's in bye week hell.
Yes, we all are.
What he's dealing with is at wide receiver. As of right now, he's got Keenan Allen, but he has to start two others. He could play Josh Gordon. He could put in waiver claims for Mike Williams and or Robbie Anderson? Should he put in both waiver claims, hope to get both guys, or could he only put in one and play Gordon instead? Boy,
I mean, I like both of those guys
Appreciate
this week
the depth.
over.
Yeah,
I like both of those guys over Gordon. It's a little scary for me that we're gonna start Allen and Williams possibly there, but the matchup is
Also, by the way, like if your waiver claim for Mike Williams doesn't go in until after tonight, then what the F is the point?
yeah. I mean,
Like-
he's got to. It's got to be
Yeah, that-
something where you can get him. I mean, I have them both over. I have them both over Josh Gordon. Again, Josh Gordon could, do the 2 catch and one of them was a touchdown type thing, but there's just not enough targets for him.
I guess the question would then be if he couldn't get Mike Williams by tonight, then would you just have to play Josh Gordon at that point?
I'm playing Robbie Anderson over him. But if you have to start
Right.
3, you put him in. I mean, let's not. I'm not going to pretend like there are not situations where guys are playing this week that we would normally not want to play. It's just 6 teams. We've said it for years and years and years. Why the NFL does this?
Bench is 5 of 6 players on
Yeah,
bye.
I mean, that's
I know. I mean, I have one team where I am playing everybody that is playing this week. I have nobody to. It's no decision to be made. Everybody's on bye. It's just
look. I've got a league like this where I'm going to either have to play Josh Gordon or Demaryius Thomas.
pull him out of a hat.
You sure there's nobody else out there?
I mean, Russell Gage.
Not bad.
He's the Falcons guy, right?
Would you do that? Would you? Would you drop Demaryius and pick up Russell Gage?
Well, what is Demaryius really?
I don't really care about Demaryius.
I
but
mean,
like,
Demaryius could do something. I mean, it's not the worst matchup in the world. I would probably do that over because of the targets over Josh Gordon. Gage is interesting to me, but there's not enough history to it yet. I would probably.
How is Russell Gage on waivers? Who is owning Russell Gage? Jesus.
Well,
Ugh.
is that one of our?
It is one. Was it you? You son of a bitch.
Did you just do that to
Son
make
of
it
a
so no one
bitch.
can
No,
get him?
I actually picked him up because when you do your waivers and then there was something that happened and somebody got hurt or something and I noticed somebody else that was there and I'm like, well, who can
I could also pick up Adam Humphries in that league.
Whatever.
Would you just play Josh Gordon at that point?
I just play Demaryius at this point.
So you're saying play Demaryius?
Play Josh.
Yeah.
You are so desperate. Kyle is so desperate for somebody to
I just
play
dropped
Josh
him.
Gordon.
So, KZ, Corey Davis or Larry Fitzgerald?
Wait, did you drop him in one of our leagues? No, you
No.
dropped him in your league.
It's Larry Fitzgerald.
Is it?
It is.
Even against Kansas City and the potential of them having to play from down?
But Kansas
I know Tampa
City,
Bay is the same way.
Tampa Bay.
not
Tampa
the
Bay
same
gives
way.
up 350 yards a game. You have by accident, it's 5 for 50 for Larry.
All right. Latavius Murray or Joe Mixon? I'm leaning Murray.
I'm leading Murray too. I mean, I don't know how you play Mixon at this point.
Yeah, I have him on the bench currently.
I don't know either, to be honest with you.
I mean,
really.
somebody asked me who's the most disappointing fantasy player this year, and I didn't come up with Mixon right away. And then we were talking further, and I was like, you know what? It's Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was an RB1 in drafts. I would
have drafted him if he fell to me.
I mean,
the truth is,
I have him as an
early.
RB3 this week behind. I mean, I have Murray 22nd. I have Joe Mixon 28. It's not close.
Yikes.
If I could, there are guys below Joe Mixon that I want to start that I probably couldn't, but I can see him finishing worse than that.
Yeah.
Catch all of the action at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill, where they have tons of TVs to catch every moment of every game. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports. Dave wants to know, this is tough. So David Johnson's back, right? Like
That's the rumor.
So he wants to know Kenyon Drake or Matt Breida.
What? Breida. Yeah.
Right. Like at this point,
I
there's no value in Drake.
I mean, Edmonds
now
may be back too. I don't know. There's that. I mean, I don't know what to do with Drake. I mean this honestly. There was no reason.
I'd send him back to Canada.
There was
myself.
no
That's what I
reason.
would
There
do.
was no reason to play him last week, and he's like RB2.
Yeah, he was a
against
monster.
the 49ers.
Right. I hear you.
How's that make any sense? Kenyon Drake.
Thursday Night Football is weird.
I played against him.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah,
Loved
I'm
every
sure.
second of
I'm
it.
like, what?
I lost by 4 points.
I'm like, what? But if David Johnson is back and he's active, I mean, he's had 3 weeks essentially now. I don't. Drake is a third. I don't even. Why would you take David Johnson off the field on third down?
They did it for Edmonds,
I
didn't
know.
they? Like, at this point, you can't predict kind of what's going on here.
The point being,
Did you get to the
you're not playing Kenyon Drake. What?
Facebook questions as well?
Oh,
couple
no.
questions
Go
on
ahead.
I mean, I have
Go
them
ahead.
close. I mean, I'm 27, 29,
Yep.
but I'm.
Blake Collins had been watching us on YouTube all season, but found us on Facebook. He has 2 pretty in-depth ones. There's one trade-related question. The trade deadline is tomorrow
Yikes.
in a 12-team PPR.
Okay.
No playoffs. Season points winner wins.
Ooh.
He's
I like that league.
150 points ahead.
Like those leagues.
Lamar Jackson, Josh Jacobs,
Kind of showing off, too.
James White, Austin Eckler, Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, and Galladay at receiver. His question essentially is, should he make a trade or stand pat in that regard? He seems to be pretty well suited to win.
How does he not?
It sounds
How
like
is
he's
he
just
not?
trying to-
How is he not winning? Who? I want to hear
He's
the
up by
roster.
150 already in
Oh,
his league. He is winning.
Oh, he is by
Yeah,
150.
He should stand pat.
I mean, that's a great
Yeah.
roster. I mean, I don't. Who are you trading?
That's the
I mean,
can't
could you
imagine.
trade? Could you go trade right now? Could you go find?
His weekly flexes are James White, Kenny Galladay, and he has Gallup, Beasley, Deontay Johnson on the bench.
I mean, could you go take Eckler and Gallup and try to pry away Chris Godwin from the owner that is disappointed in Chris Godwin the last 2 weeks? Sure, go ahead, do that.
but there's no need to
But your roster's
dismantle
really,
the team,
really
right.
good.
He has another league where he says, Mr. Ken, for what it's worth, he called you Mr. Ken. I feel like with the Pats' upcoming schedule, James White gets more involved, and he has Jacobs and Eckler. So he moved Hilton and Mack for Galladay and Beasley. This gives me Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, and Kenny Galladay. Is that a better high upside move? So he's asking if he should move T.Y. Hilton and Marlon Mack for Kenny Galladay and Cole Beasley.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, he's fine. It looks like you're going to do all right.
God, yes.
Looks
that
like
it?
he's going to do, yes.
Okay, very good.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I feel like he was kind of just trying to show off.
There's one more. I have one more.
I don't like the Colts.
This is from Dan.
Okay, hi, Dan.
PPR League. Guy wants to trade him Sanu or Ridley for Kareem Hunt. Which one do I take?
In a vacuum, it's Ridley because your Ridley is going to be involved in the game plan each and every week. I don't know that Sanu. Not that he's not, but we're trying to guess which week Sanu scores the touchdown. That's the game we're playing because he's not.
Well, last week he had 10 catches, didn't he?
He didn't have 10 against
he
the
had-
Ravens. Did he have 10?
He had a bunch.
He had 10 for 81 and a touchdown, I think.
Okay, because they tried to take away everybody. They tried to take away Edelman. It's still Ridley for me.
Yeah, 10 for 81 and a touchdown. That's right.
Yeah, it's still Ridley for me.
All right. Very good. What else is on your radar this week?
You know, this is the line in the sand for me for fantasy football, and this is just how do you like to play fantasy football? You have 6 teams on bye. You got a lot of injuries. People have said I have to drop this guy to do it. You have to look at your league. Where are you in the standings? Are you a playoff team?
Right.
If you are a solid playoff team, then don't drop somebody you're going to need the rest of the way just to fill a lineup this week. I mean, if you have to take a loss, you take a loss if you're still in the playoffs. If you are in a situation like you're 3-6 and I can't afford to go 3-7, you do what you got to do. If you have to drop Todd Gurley,
Wow.
you know what I mean. I mean, if you have to drop somebody to if you're looking at a loss just because you're going to take a 0, you drop who you got to drop to win this week. You're playing week by week, and you'll play the waiver wire game the rest of the way. You just have to make it through. I know there's more bye weeks, but it doesn't get as bad as the 6 teams and with all the injuries you're dealing with. And, if you're carrying 2 quarterbacks at this time because you think, what if so-and-so gets hurt, Look, I'm dropping in every league that I have. I'm dropping my backup quarterback if Patty Mahomes plays because I have Mahomes in a bunch of places, and that's just the way you got to use your roster right now. You have to be realistic and you have to plan. This is the time that it's not week to week anymore. You have to plan ahead and say, okay, who's on bye the rest of the way? Where am I in the standings? Am I favored to win? I know that's a weird thing, but you can't just stand pat and say, oh, I'm just going to take a loss.
Right. It's over. Right,
this is week 10. We have 4 weeks, 4 weeks, depending on your system, of regular season.
Yep.
And then we're go. So don't say, oh, I'm not dropping this guy just because they're a really good player.
Right.
In your situation, I would tell you, if you were not in the playoff hunt or really fighting for a playoff spot, T.Y. Hilton is droppable this week, folks. We don't know when he's coming back. It doesn't look like he's coming back next week, but if you need the spot, those are the people that you have to drop. Does it suck when somebody else picks him up and he's back in week 15 and helps somebody?
But you got to.
But you got to get to the playoffs. So do what you got to do.
I'm holding him. I'm 1-7. I still got hope.
And look,
if you're also significantly out of the playoffs, maybe just don't make a move that's going to completely screw up the rest of your league.
And the other thing is, if you are 2-6, 1-7, and you have a standing pat does nothing. It's not working.
Oh,
so
I'm not
I know.
touching that team.
I know, but what I'm saying is you can make some trades. You can try to do something.
Alvin Kamara is the only guy I got.
Okay, well,
no, that's
standing pat when you're 2-6 is silly to me.
Well,
I've given up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
1-7. It's not 2-6.
Sometimes you just sort of get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just sort of understand it.
I started Sam Darnold 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to.
He literally lost me a match.
I know. I have a league.
-8.
I have a league like that where I'm out of it. I'm 2-6, and I've made all the offers I can make. Nobody wants to trade for any of my players, and I was like,
and that's the other thing too. I don't want to just release somebody that's gonna everybody's gonna be mad that somebody was able to pluck it.
Right.
Yeah, but if I understand that, but that's why I said.
But yes, if the difference is
if you can make if you're 2-6, but the leader in your league is 5-4,
right?
You're in the playoff hunt.
No, I hear you. I understand.
You just have to be realistic. I'm not saying it's not a blanket statement that if you're 2-6, you got to drop this person. You have
to get rid of all of your good players. You a-hole.
Yeah, look on the waiver wire. I don't see the answers out there.
Look, I wait, and that's the other thing.
Get Russell Gage.
Last thing, check your waiver wire because people have been dropped this week.
Will Fuller's available on mine, and
he's not coming back. But there are people dropped.
Zalis.
There are going to be people dropped There were people dropped this week that will be viable for weeks to come because of what the scenarios that we're talking about. Look at your waiver wire again. I couldn't believe I did in one league. Ronald Jones II was available in a league after waiver period.
Of course, the first was taken, but
the first was gone.
You could have him,
but the second, I swore he was a junior up until this year.
I didn't think he was good at football, but maybe he is.
He might be all right. Might be all right. All right, very good. PressBoxOnline.com is where you read his stuff. Of course, at Fans Fantasy on Twitter as well. KZ, appreciate it, bud. We will see you next Thursday.
You will.
We will see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Glenn Clark Radio.